I'm expecting half of it to be like hanging off. So these are the original Pirellis. So go on then, in your professional and being honest as you can.
Welcome back to the channel, folks. It is an expensive day for me. I'm dropping over £1,000 on a new set of tyres, but it's needed. You cannot mess around with the tyre quality on these performance vehicles. It doesn't even matter, to be honest, whether it's a performance EV in inverted commas or any kind of normal EV. They're all stupidly quick and they could all do with going on a bit of a diet. So tyres are very important. I really want to know what other tyres other EV owners and Tesla owners are using. Stick them in the comments. I know obviously the stock ones that come with all Teslas could be Pirellis, Bridgestones, Continentals, Hankooks, Michelins, and I think Goretti actually are on one of the Tesla Model 3 setups. I'm not sure which one it is. While I'm on my way to the fitting shop, here is my thought process. If I mention any brands or brand names or websites, this is not sponsored at all. I wish it was, but unfortunately it's not. This is all coming out of my pocket. My Tesla Model 3 Performance 2024, the Highland, comes on Pirelli P Zeros, a really well-known summer grip tyre. They're not really revered for much else. I mean, I don't track this car, and that's why I don't arguably need like the best summer tyre which is designed for going around tracks and all that kind of thing. I'm actually after quietness. It's an EV. I'm getting a little older now. I'm in my 40s. I know you can't tell with the moisturiser. I'm after a relaxed, nice drive. Nice M4. It's got some bits and bobs on that. Is that a CS? Hang on, there's nothing left of me. Let's just follow him a second. That wing tail, where's he going? I think that looks fat with a PH. Yeah, nice M4 CSL. The ducktail spoiler on that looks absolutely gorgeous. He's probably looking at it in his rear view mirror and thinking, oh, bloody Tesla. Yeah, I'll leave him, but lovely car, M4 CSL. Sorry, I'm back in the game, Tesla. Forget about the M4 CSL. I was talking and think about wet grip. These tyres, they're not revered for it, but you cannot slag them off, and I'm gonna stick up for them today. When Storm Goretti hit, watch this video. It's just luck, this is the hill. Obviously everyone knows it's all about momentum. Whoa, bit sideways. Oh my God, that grip. So chill mode, don't have it in performance, don't have it in standard, because it just puts down too much power. And now if I can keep the momentum going, that's the key. And hopefully you say hopefully no one comes down. He's giving me a flash, which is nice of him. Gotta watch the apocalyptic tree. He's gonna force me into the snow. So we're going through here, let's go left. Give him a little flash, thanks very much. Whoa, there you go. So we are forging our own path now, look at that. I'm just driving on the snow, chill mode. This is quite an incline. There's a BM, whoa, losing it. There's a BM that's been abandoned. Come on, up the hill. Oh my God, this car. So we're still going uphill. I don't want to come to a stop. There's nothing coming. Oh, out to the main road. Oh my. So there you go. The tyres in chill mode with the all-wheel drive system, those Pirellis had done 23,000 miles at the time. They were absolutely mind-blowingly good. But all good things come to an end, and it is time for the Pirellis to go. So the process of buying the new set. I needed a website. I use Black Circles. Like I said, this isn't sponsored. I'd love it to be sponsored with what money I'm spending today, but it's not sponsored, unfortunately. Black Circles, they're a mail order tyre company, huge, you've probably heard of them. And I thought, well, they're gonna have a great stock of tyres. I could find the ones that are good for me, and then I could find a local fitting shop, which I'm actually using Kwikfit. I know sometimes the reviews are great, sometimes they're not. It's all personal opinion. And then I could find a local Kwikfit basically that's going to offer me 10% off for buying them in 2s or 20% off for buying them in 4s or something like that to try and get the price down, and we're still spending over £1,000 today. This Model 3 Performance has a staggered setup, so unfortunately I can't get the big discounts. The fronts are 2,355 35s, and the backs are 275 30s, both with a 20-inch rim. So I'll be able to find the ones I want and then get a little bit of money off by ordering them through Kwikfit locally. So the process, you go on, and what are you presented with when shopping for tyres? And I'm quite new to it all, really, with proper performance tyres. Normally it's just like, yeah, stick a good budget on it, please, mate, and that'll be done for like 60 or 70 quid a corner. So you end up on black circles. I put my tyres in, what I need, or my number plate, and it helps you out. And you get 3 ratings. You get fuel efficiency and the road resistance. That's marked between A and E. You get wet grip and braking performance, also between A and E. And then you get the decibel reading, which is between A and C, but it's slightly different for that. The decibel number you see, and this is, I've made the mistake all through my life, I think. People obviously assume it's the cabin noise. Another lovely car today, the Renault 5. I'm promising, I'm trying to get my hands on one of those for the efficiency leaderboard. It's a great little nippy car. So the decibel noise is an external noise. So it's actually measured if the car's doing about 50 miles an hour, they do 80 kilometers an hour. And the measuring device, the decibel meter, is around 7.5 meters away from the center point of the path that the car's going to take. So it's an external noise. I didn't even realize that. I'm sure people are, I'm sure people are going to laugh at me, but I'm sure there'll be some people that also just saw it and thought it was like a cabin noise. Logic would dictate, and I'm sure the comments are going to correct me, that if the external noise is quieter, surely the cabin noise has to be quieter as well. And I'm not having it any other way if people tell me, no, it's because of this. I know obviously the acoustics of the car and the road, and it depends on all sorts. But surely if the external noise is quiet, the internal noise has to be quieter as well. I cannot comprehend that in any other fashion at the moment. So I'm obviously going to be comparing these stats to my stock Pirelli P Zeros. So what does the Pirellis perform? Well, these ones here, the elect ones, that is what the Pirellis score. They've got a C for the first one for the fuel efficiency. They've got an A for the wet grip, even though they're not known for the wet grip. But as we saw in the Goretti video, they are brilliant though anyway. And I'm sure that's just in the big world of tyres, it scores an A. And their decibel readings were 70 on the front, 72 on the back, and both a B. So what does that B mean though? Well, if you score an A on the decibel reading, it is at least 3 decibels or more under the limit for that tyre. Different tyres, depending on the compound and the size, are graded differently. So if you get an A, the tyre is doing really, really well for external noise. If you get a B, it's between 3 decibels below and the limit itself, so it's in that kind of doing well, but in that kind of threshold there. And a C, which you really shouldn't see on the road, is actually above the limit for that tyre. I'm sure again the comments will be able to correct me or tell me what they're used for. Because of everything else is opinion based. I've been on the forums and it's like, oh, what tyres do people use? And people will say, stick with the Pirellis, or go Michelin, or go Hankook, or go Continental. And then you ask ChatGPT, and ChatGPT tends to just agree with whatever you ask it to. It doesn't really have a mind of its own. So I have plumbed for, look, going through the website, Hankook Ion Evo sound absorbers. On paper, they've scored better than the Pirellis in every way, shape and form. And I'm after the sound, and they are the best performing sound decibel reading on the whole black circle market for my tyres, for my fitment that I can get. So I'm going to head over to the Hankook website and have a little look around. And again, they are perfect for EVs. They do not have the Tesla marking though. The T0, T1 and T2. The current Pirellis on this have the T2 marking, so what does that mean? It basically means that the tyre is Tesla developed or Tesla homologated. Homologated. It is homologated. And it means it's basically been designed for that car. But the thing is, that doesn't mean that you can't put any other tyres on your Tesla. And you might think, oh, well, that instantly just means that I know that EV tyres have this foam inside them for better sound absorbing. It doesn't mean that either. Just because it's got a Tesla marking on it doesn't mean it automatically has foam inside it for the extra noise reduction. So I'm not too bothered. Originally, I was looking, oh, well, I must get a T0, T1, T2. I must do. But actually, I'm going to be brave and not. So those Hankooks are perfect. And that is what we are plumbing for today. In the sat-nav here, anyone that's local to the area or anyone that's just been watching would notice, steady old Persia, there's a curb there. that I might have just been driving around in circles, chatting to you guys, wasting a little bit of time. However, there we go. I am now en route to the Kwikfit. While we're en route, I am going to do some testing. I know it's silly, but I've got the kit. But I know it's silly to compare. You stay there. I thought he was creeping out then. 34,000 old mile tyres to brand new, fresh out the packet tyres. But I've got the kit and I'm just going to do it to see how they come out. So here we go. Run the tape. Tyres are off. Here with Luke. Oh man. I'm expecting half of it to be like hanging off. So these are the original Pirellis. So go on then, in your professional and being honest as you can.
As being honest as I can, and with my experience, I believe that these tyres have worn very evenly. They've done really well, because usually with Teslas, you will start to see when they get down to sort of 2-3 mil, the legal limit, you'll start to see excessive
because that's
wear.
that's time to change.
So that's your wear bar indicator there. That indicates 1.6 mil. You usually start to see these going smooth, but they haven't. They've done extremely
But you said normally with Teslas as well, they do look a bit shoddy when they come off, and actually these have been alright.
Most of the times we'll look and the inner edge of the tyre has got down to the cords, to the structure of the tyre where it's dangerous. But no.
Mate, well, great to see. And you can actually see there has been 2 repairs.
Yes.
That one's fine. Yeah. And you said there was another one that might have been a little bit dodgy?
There was, yeah.
There he is.
This one here, but it seems to have done the trick. But usually when you go over the shoulder of the tyre, it's a no-no. But
yeah, well, fair dues.
It's done you well.
And you can see the foam.
To silence, so that's the noise cancelling.
So the ones that are going on, what's your impression of these? And be honest.
I absolutely love them. Hankooks are really good. And obviously with some Teslas they will come as standard like they do with Michelin.
I have seen on some. And then finally, while I got you, mate, obviously because they're off, calipers and the pads.
Yeah,
obviously with the regen braking.
Yeah, so I mean these seem to be lasting nearly the life of the vehicle, but no, they do really, really well.
The Hankooks are on. That was really interesting actually chatting to Luke. He was more than happy to tell me how the tyres were looking when they came off the car. Really happy. You hear all sorts of not scaremongering, the truth in some situations where EVs and Teslas are wearing tyres unevenly and all that kind of thing. So actually to see those tyres come off after 34,000 miles, they looked immaculate. The evenly, they were definitely getting down to the legal limits. But they wore amazingly. And also it's really nice to see a mechanic like that say something good about the calipers and the disc pads and all, because of course they shouldn't be wearing, but then you never know. And are they, because they're not being used, they're corroding a little bit. But my wife and I do make sure that we do brake every so often. It's quite important in the Tesla because the regen braking is so good. You really do need to go and make sure you're braking quite hard from time to time, a couple of times a week. Anywho, I will go and set the decibel reading up for 50 mile an hour pass. A big shout out to Luke actually at Kwikfit. He said that they do a lot of charity things there, and recently they raised a lot of money for the air ambulance. We're in Shropshire here, and a few of them went up Snowdonia. It's kind of like a sunrising challenge, but they did the mountain with a big tyre on their backs for all of them, which was quite funny. and raised a load of money. But yeah, he was a good sport. So actually, with that in mind, if you're ever in the Shropshire kind of area, Kwikfit here in Featherbed Lane have been really, really accommodating, far more accommodating than I thought they were going to do, to have a good chat about the car. Right, let's crack on. See you guys in a sec. So we're out to Kwikfit, back on the road. I have actually, for the longevity of the car, annoyingly, my lifetime measurement of efficiency and range and all that kind of thing since I had the car has been deleted. I've obviously been messing around with the efficiency so much, I must have overwrite it or deleted it by accident. So, however, before I did do that, the car, I'm sure if we looked in previous videos, it was averaging about 308 watt hours per mile I've got in my head for about the first 30,000 miles. So I've actually just done a reset and I've called it the Hankooks, and I am going to just leave that to run forever and ever for the duration of these tyres, and we'll come back every so often and see how efficient they're doing, if there's actually a difference in efficiency, because they did grade better than the Pirellis on efficiency. So it's going to be really interesting. So we're looking to beat low 300s. I'm sure it was about 307, 308. So wheel balancing at low speeds, absolutely fine. You're generally only, that is driving really straight. That is lovely. Wheel balancing though, you'll only tend to find when you go a bit quicker. So when we go to about 60 or 70, so here, when I turn left, we'll get the speed up a little bit, and let's hope there's no shuddering through the steering wheel. I would love this caravan to hurry up. I've got nothing behind me, so let's just slow down a tiny bit. Right, let's just get up to speed. Hopefully there's no shuddering. Yeah, there you go. That feels lovely. Lovely and smooth, up to 55, 60. Happy days. It's always a nervous time changing tyres, isn't it? Especially when a set of tyres have treated you so well. You're really putting your trust in these garages. And that's a whole nother topic of debate, of trust in companies. Kwikfit today, for me, have been absolutely phenomenal. You never know, do you? You walk away, your car is there in the garage. God, they can't be messing around with them, can they? But that feels absolutely fantastic. I'm a happy, happy boy so far. Hello, Sassy. You're looking at the camera. Ah, and there we have it, guys. I've seen the results now. 74.9, exactly the same. I swear it sounds quieter in the car. Maybe it's just placebo. Anyway, I'm £1,000 lighter. I am very happy with these, especially from the feedback. The chap in Kwikfit, I know they're going to say what you want to hear, but it's definitely what I wanted to hear anyway from a consumer point of view. I think it's more just seeing the state of the old tyres, seeing the state of the calipers and the discs and things and the pads, that they're all in brilliant, brilliant condition. So I'm really, really happy. Anyway, that'll do for today. Videos over here. YouTube thinks you're going to want to watch one of these, or click on my lovely face to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one, folks.